Welcome to Convolution Corporate Connect. My name is Jagannath Thakur and I am the co-founder of KRC, and with tie-up with Convolution, we are doing this program. So in this particular video, we like to share with you what are the different solutions that we have provided to our different clients and how we define the solution architecture and what are the benefits of those solution architectures, what are the latest in technologies. So we know that KRC, it is actually an offshore for many onshore clients in US, Japan, and Middle East. We do custom application development for them. We prefer to use open source solutions and Linux, but if they have any setup choice of for a particular technology, so we follow that. And then we do app development for them for in both Android and iOS, whether it is native or it is hybrid. And then the cloud solutions as per client's requirements. But how do we define these requirements? The business requirement is defined by mostly the clients. But how do we do the solution? And what is the solution architecture? So when we define solution architecture, it's not only about tech stack. What we want to do is that we define the tech stack, but we want to also define how safe, secure, and scalable the application is going to be. Like it should be available 19.99% of times. If there is a single user or a billion of users at the same time, then also the application will run, and it should be scalable to that extent, and it should be available. It should be fast and secure. Like it should not be. It should be hack proof, and it should also follow all the norms, standards, and government standards. So when we define solutions for the business requirements, so mostly the requirements are on building an app or building a customer portal, so like e-learning portal or an e-commerce portal. And also when going further, so sometimes we have to define we have to prepare AI modules for our clients, for example say AI chatbot. So how do we define the solution architecture for all these three different sectors? So let us start with the first one. Okay, the first one is for an app development. So suppose the client gives us the requirement for building an app. So we can choose the technology, like if they want it to be in iOS native or they want it to be in Android native. So we have to choose the native. But when we have the choice to define it for them, and the budget is uh, we have to choose the least budget for them. So we prefer to go for a hybrid app technology. So what are the tech stack here, and how do we maintain the whole solution? So for the front end work, we'll use React Native, because React Native is a cross hybrid platform. So once we do the development, so we can deploy it as an Android version or as an deploy it separately as an iOS version. So single development, but both the apps can be available. So that would be the front end framework. Now for the state management, we can use either Redux Toolkit or React Context API. For authentication, so we can use Firebase authentication, but there are many more options, but this is the most budget friendly. In the backend, so for the APIs, we use Node.js to build REST APIs, and database we can choose MongoDB or PostgreSQL. For authentication, OTP service, so we have multiple options, like we have AWS SNS, or we have third-party service providers, or we can also use Firebase authentication. So that will be the least costly. But we can use third-party SMS. I won't take the names. And then we have the monitoring, like when we are doing the development, we use Postman for testing those APIs. Then we have Sentry for tracking errors both in the front end and in the back end. So for third-party integrations like push notifications, we can again go for Firebase cloud messaging. So this is for the app tech stack. And then we will have to use some third-party if requirement is such. some payment gateways. So one example is Razor Pay, but there are many others whose payment gateways can be integrated. So we can have all the aggregated payment types available by a single provider. And then for cloud storage, we prefer to use S3 bucket, or if the enterprise is on a smaller scale and they want to grow later on, so we can use Firebase storage. For DevOps hosting, and so we can have backend hosting on AWS EC2, and if the in serverless requirement is there, so we can use AWS Lambda. And for CI/CD, can use GitHub Actions. So now let's move to the second type of solution architecture, and this is for say AI chatbot. Okay, so once we have the requirements, so how we define and what is the technology stack, and how do we prepare ourselves for the delivery of the project. So first of all, we will do the data collection preparation. We collect all the relevant documents, because it has to be an AI based document question answer chatbot. Okay, and that is generative. So we will, after data collecting, we'll do the data cleaning, structuring, annotations. Okay, that is the main work to be done. And then only the main development for the AI model would start, and there will be NLP tuning for document question answer capabilities. So once this backend is done, then we'll go for the front end. So we have the APIs and AI model integration developed. So from the front end, we'll do the uh, integrations to the backend, and then there will be a database integration for document retrieval. And but also before the delivery, what we need to do is to we test it. Okay, so we do a testing, we make a QA manual, then we deploy and launch, then we do a UAT, suppose we do the deployment on a particular cloud, so we'll do the server setup, we'll do the initial monitoring and optimization, and then once the solution is live, so we undergo through ongoing maintenance and updates, and whatever regular maintenance, regular updates are required as change requests. Now, suppose we are going to develop a portal for a client, and this portal is, say, an e-learning or an e-commerce or many other, whatever it is. So, for example, we are choosing a solution for an e-learning portal here, and for that, we again need the front end and the back end. So, in the front end, on the technology part, we say we use React.js. Okay, so we can also insert Bootstrap, where we have some ready-made user-friendly interface pre-designed. On the back end, we use Node.js for API requests, or GraphQL for database, PostgreSQL. For authentication, we can use AWS Cognito, and for storing all the files and videos and or whatever files are there, so we can use the AWS S3. So S3 bucket can hold all those files, and then we can enable AWS CloudFront, which will actually deliver those media and make it available with low latency. On the DevOps side, so we can use Docker for containerization, and for CI/CD we can use GitHub Actions. So from the architecture overview point, so we have the front-end application, the backend API gateway, Node.js based, the database layer, there's a media layer, there's an authentication layer. And then for error tracking and monitoring, we can use AWS CloudWatch, but that is optional. And we can also use some open source tools. So these are the services, for example, on AWS that is available, and what are their roles, and we can use them as or leverage them as required. So this one we have gone through, and while doing these solutions for multiple clients, We have actually delivered many solutions for many clients in US, Japan, Middle East, and Indian market for startups as well. So what I wanted to tell is that for any such requirements or any such questions or anything that you want to know further on these particular technologies or on solution architecture, whatever questions you have, you send it to us and we will reply back to you as early as possible. Thank you.